I'm not that nervous. Like, still got a little like, ooh, but all right, if the answer, like, question comes, I'm gonna be there to answer it. Like, I've already done this too many times to even be too worried about it.
Go step that way. Here. One step that way. Or you fight going that way. Hey, what's real fast?
Yeah, he have potential. He have a lot of skills. He have a lot of potential to be one of the biggest star in boxing.
Do you think it's like a mental thing when you have all that pressure and you go in there and you get, like, some would say you got like embarrassed kind of?
It's hard. It's obviously it's hard. But,
I mean, that was a big fight for him to take too. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they could have both dodged
Do you
that.
think
for a
that it
while.
was too early?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Boxing Insider. So Ryan Garcia just got hit with a $5,000 fine, and honestly, this is classic Ryan. But here's the thing, that fine might be the least of his worries heading into the biggest fight of his career against Mario Barrios on February 21st.
Mario Garcia is a hell of a puncher. He's very explosive, dangerous hook, very dangerous. Everybody know that hook will knock a buffalo out. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Yeah.
2 weeks before fight night, the WBC requires all fighters to do a mandatory video weight check. It's a safety thing. Champion Mario Barrios did his check on time, no problem. Ryan Garcia missed it completely. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman had to send a message to Ryan's team saying they were supposed to receive that video on February 7th, and when it didn't come, they dropped a $5,000 fine on him. They also warned him that if he didn't send the video immediately, they'd make a press statement and contact the Boxing Commission. That's serious stuff. Eventually, Ryan sent the video and came in at 154.2 pounds, while Barrios was at 153, both under the 155-pound limit, so that's good. But here's why people are worried. Back in April 2023, Ryan missed weight by over 3 pounds before his fight with Devin Haney, so this isn't new behavior.
I put a shock on that left hook, deadly, and then he understands how to do it. So yeah, that's where he is.
This is a much different version of myself, as you can see in my energy. And, you could see, how taking care of your body, being a real athlete and showing a good example,
Now let's talk about this fight itself, because it's massive for both guys. Ryan Garcia gets his shot at the WBC welterweight title. Mario Barrios is defending his belt, and the energy between these two at the face-off was interesting. There's respect there, but you can feel the tension building. At the press conference, Ryan explained why he took this fight.
I try to let all my decisions be led by God, and I felt like this was the right, decision to make. And he's a great fighter. He's never been in a bad fight. He's always come in a fight. Even in the championship rounds, you see that he's firing back and finds a way to make sure the gap ain't too far out. So he's one of those guys that's gonna come to fight.
He could have fought Rolly Romero again. He could have taken the Jake Paul fight for probably more money, but he wanted Barrios and that belt. Ryan was honest about it too, saying,
Oh, it's definitely the belt too. Mario got I want to touch it. They say it's bad luck, so I might not even touch it yet. But I'm coming to take that, and he's the champion. He got to defend it, and that's why we're here.
Mario Barrios came across as the veteran in the room. When asked if Ryan is on the same level as guys like Keith Thurman or Gervonta Davis that he's faced, Barrios said,
he's definitely here for a reason. He's dangerous, everything that he brings in there. So, he's definitely worthy of to be in a live opponent.
That's fighter talk for saying Ryan is legit, but not quite putting him in that top tier yet. Ryan fired back confidently. When asked if the best version of him can beat the best version of Barrios, Ryan didn't hesitate. No, he said about Barrios beating him. Ryan believes when he's in top condition and top form, nobody at this level beats him. But here's where it gets real interesting. Ryan has been inconsistent lately. Against Devin Haney, he looked fantastic. Against Rolly Romero, he looked lost. Ryan himself admitted,
At the end of the day, that Rolly camp was just a hard one to get by, I was doing a lot of stupid shit, not treating my body like a temple. Before that, obviously I had a year layoff. But it's okay, it's behind us. I'm ready to I position my body to be in top form. I feel in top form, top shape, and that's what he's gonna get, the best version of me.
he was brutally honest, saying during that camp he couldn't train hard for more than 2 days straight. His body kept shutting down. He said every 2 days it would just shut down. Runs didn't feel right. Nothing felt correct. That version of Ryan won't beat Mario Barrios. Everyone knows that. The fight breakdown here is fascinating because both guys have advantages. Barrios talked about his experience and boxing IQ. He's been in there with top-level fighters for years. Ryan pushed back on that, saying,
Everybody's fighting 10 years. Not everybody develops the same and all that. So it's kind of like, he could say he has a lot of experience, but, Luke Campbell had a lot of experience. A lot of people have a lot of experience, but, when you get in there, it's how on point you are that night.
Ryan's got a point. Experience doesn't always win fights. Execution does. Ryan sees Barrios as a consistent, solid fighter. He said,
You know what I mean? There's nothing that super pops out to me, but I know that when he steps in the ring, you're gonna get that version of him every time. He's been pretty consistent. He's pretty sharp with some counters. But there's a lot of things I see that I could take advantage of, but...
That's confidence, not disrespect. Both fighters are expecting a war. Ryan predicted it's going to be a bloody fight with lots of cuts. He even called out the referee, Joe, saying, Joe, don't stop fights. If he's getting clipped and cut, he ain't going to stop the fight. I'm just telling you. Barrios smiled at that and said he's never shied away from a bloody battle. He said,
out of my shield before, like I said, every time I step in there, I give it, whatever I have that day. And if that's the way this fight goes, if it ends in a bloody battle, then, it does, and I'm never shied away from that.
Now here's the big story that everyone's talking about. Joe Goosen used to train Ryan Garcia. They worked together when Ryan was 17 years old. Now Joe Goosen is training Mario Barrios. Ryan thinks this is a huge advantage for him. He said,
Oh, it's gonna be bad, because I know all that. I know what he's training like, I know everything. They could say, oh, he knows, but he didn't train with me long enough. Been knowing Joe since I was 17. I know exactly, and I haven't trained with him. I just watched him, so I know exactly how he trains his fighter, exactly what they're doing. So to me, it was like, oh, thank God you gave me an advantage.
Ryan even suggested that Joe might have been leaking information, though he quickly added allegedly when asked about it. Barrios explained his decision to switch trainers from Bob Santos to Joe Goosen, saying,
And I was having little issues in my last couple camps, and it was just kind of one of those things that me and my team felt that I needed to do in the moment, change the scenery, change this. And the move with Joe, it had nothing to do with Ryan. That was gonna happen regardless of whether this fight was made or not.
Ryan doesn't buy it. He called it a missed chess move and said, I don't think it's a good fit for him. The boxing world has a lot to say about this fight. Robert Garcia, a top trainer himself, gave an interesting take. He said Ryan has the skills, power, and speed to become world champion, but then he pointed out something important. Ryan has gone through 3 world-class trainers, Eddie Reynoso, Joe Goosen, and Derek James. All 3 are among the best in the world. Now Ryan's back training with his father. Robert Garcia asked the key question.
Here's the question. Did Ryan Garcia ever allow those trainers to be the boss?
That's why he's back with his dad, because he's the boss. That's why.
Yeah.
Look, Joe Goosen, I know Joe Goosen. My brother used to train with him. He's not gonna just let you get away with stuff like that. Derek James neither. Eddie Reynoso doesn't need. He's made so much money with Canelo that if you want to come to me, it's gonna be under my rules. Mm-hmm. And if that didn't work, then Ryan's back. So that's I give that big advantage to Barrios to even put.
That's a serious point. Joe Goosen doesn't let fighters get away with stuff. Derek James neither. Eddie Reynoso has made so much money with Canelo that if you want to train with him, it's under his rules. Robert Garcia said this gives Barrios a big advantage. Antonio Tarver had one of the coldest takes. He said this is the perfect fight for Ryan, but then added, if he can't win this fight, it'll be hard-pressed for him to win a title. That's the reality check. Tarver called Barrios solid, but not devastating. Good, but not spectacular. He said, when you look at his boxing ability, he's a good fighter, but nothing really sticks out as great. But Tarver also pointed out Barrios has heart and toughness, which matters. Tim Bradley broke down the technical side. He said Joe Goosen being in Barrios' corner is huge because Goosen knows Ryan Garcia. He knows his Achilles heel. Bradley pointed out that Barrios can do a little bit of everything: counterpunch, fight off the back foot, slip and counter, block and shoot. He's average in every department, but that makes him well-rounded and dangerous. The left hook situation is fascinating. Ryan Garcia is famous for his left hook. It's knocked out multiple fighters. But Bradley said something interesting.
Apparent reason, guys that know how to throw that left hook, they sucker for left hooks themselves. I remember De La Hoya being a sucker for the left hook as well. You know, they're really good at landing their left hook, but shit, they don't do well with taking one in return.
That's scary for Ryan because Barrios has a solid left hook too. Bradley also noted that Ryan drops his hand after throwing his jab and stands up tall with his chin in the air. That creates openings for Barrios' right hand, which Bradley called the money punch for this fight. Ryan's been working with Roy Jones Jr. in this camp, and Roy has nothing but praise. Roy said, Ryan is a hell of a puncher, very explosive. That hook can knock a buffalo out. He probably throws a hook more like mine than anybody I've seen. He's got that one-punch shock on that left hook. Ryan admitted his mistakes from the Romero fight openly. He said during his suspension before that fight, he was drinking and partying. When they told him he had to fight, his instincts said no. His body wasn't ready. He said, I had a lot of toxins in it, a lot of stupid stuff I did. Internally, I knew it wasn't the right decision. I didn't trust my heart and instincts, and I paid the price. This camp is different, Ryan promises. He said, this is a much different version of myself. You can see in my energy how taking care of your body and being a real athlete shows. I'm in top form, top shape, and that's what he's gonna get. Both fighters have 2 losses on their record. Neither wants that 3rd loss. Ryan said, I don't want that. 3 is like climbing up the ranks with that one. The stakes couldn't be higher. Conor Benn had an interesting take that changed completely. At first, he predicted Ryan would win easily. He said he'd be there ringside and wanted the winner, which he thought would be Garcia. But then Benn completely flipped. He said, I bet any money Barrios stops Garcia. I'm not even joking. Garcia is gonna fumble the bag, so I need to make my money back on him. Benn is so confident that he's actually planning to bet on Barrios. February 21st will answer all the questions. Is this the focused, disciplined Ryan who beat Devin Haney, or the distracted Ryan who barely threw punches against Rolly Romero? Can Barrios use Joe Goosen's inside knowledge to exploit Ryan's weaknesses? Does experience beat youth and speed? Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. One fighter looking for redemption and his first world title. One champion looking to prove he belongs at the top.